Rangers' response to their recent Old Firm defeat has sparked plenty of debate, with one pundit suggesting there may be more behind the club's actions than first meets the eye. Following the 3-1 loss to Celtic, questions have been raised about how the Ibrox hierarchy have handled the fallout, and whether their focus has shifted towards shielding new manager Danny Rohl from early criticism. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Rangers appear to be rallying around manager Danny Rohl as pressure begins to build in the early weeks of his tenure at Ibrox. In the wake of their League Cup semi-final defeat to Celtic, the club have taken deliberate steps to shift focus away from the touchline, with many believing their latest actions are designed to protect their new boss from scrutiny. Rohl, who succeeded Russell Martin last month, has overseen a mixed start to life in Glasgow. The German coach has guided Rangers to back-to-back league victories, lifting them to fourth in the Scottish Premiership. But Sunday's 3-1 loss to Celtic at Hampden dealt a significant blow to their silverware hopes. Despite taking the match into extra time with just 10 men, Rangers were undone late on, leaving fans and pundits alike to question certain refereeing decisions that influenced the outcome. Thalo Arsgaard's red card in the first half left Rohl's side fighting an uphill battle. Yet the flashpoint that dominated post-match discussion was Nick Walsh's decision not to dismiss Austin Trusty for a reckless challenge on Rangers goalkeeper Jack Butland. The incident, which left the Ibrox bench furious, sparked immediate outrage within the club hierarchy. Days later, Rangers confirmed that representatives had met with the Scottish FA to raise concerns over officiating standards and subsequently released a statement stressing that they still have concerns about the consistency of refereeing in Scottish football. However, not everyone is convinced that the club's stance is purely about accountability. Former Aberdeen and Aston Villa chief executive Keith Weines believes Rangers' reaction is part of a calculated effort to divert attention away from Rohl during a sensitive period in his early reign. Speaking this week, Weines suggested that the Ibrox board's public comments are designed to shield their manager and provide supporters with an alternative focal point following another painful Old Firm defeat. Scottish referees often are not the best, Weines admitted. So there is some sympathy there, but I don't think it was the right way to have handled it. I think it's more about protecting Danny Rohl. It's more about saying it wasn't the manager, we were robbed. I think that's what they're trying to do, create a narrative around it rather than having anything reflect on him. The veteran executive went on to argue that the approach is nothing new in Scottish football, where Old Firm results often lead to emotional reactions from both sides of the divide. When you lose an Old Firm game, it's painful for Rangers, he continued. So to me, it's a deflection tactic. I've seen it many times before. I could almost have predicted it. Whoever had lost would have complained about the referee. It's all about giving Danny Rohl time and trying to give the fan base an excuse to say, we were robbed. It wasn't to do with the team, the squad, or the manager, Weines concluded by warning that the situation reflects the broader pressure surrounding the club. To me, it was a deflection tactic. I'm afraid that's the sad situation they're in right now, he said. The language is all about, as I say, look over there and don't look at the manager right now. Rangers' next steps will be crucial as Rohl looks to stabilise performances and regain momentum in domestic competition. The new manager's early weeks have shown flashes of promise, particularly in the league, where results have improved and certain players, such as Danilo, have started to thrive again. The Brazilian forward has scored twice in his last 4 appearances under Rohl and appears revitalised following a difficult spell earlier in the campaign. Having previously considered leaving Ibrox due to limited opportunities, Danilo now finds himself firmly in the German's plans. Sources close to the club suggest Rohl has no intention of sanctioning a January exit, viewing the striker as an important part of his rebuild. His recent impact has offered a glimpse of the more dynamic, attack-minded football Rohl is trying to instill. And, perhaps more importantly, a sign that the dressing room remains behind him. While scrutiny from supporters and pundits alike is unlikely to fade, Rangers' attempts to ease the strain on their manager could prove vital in helping him navigate the intense early months of his tenure. For now, the message from Ibrox seems clear. The club are standing firmly behind Danny Rohl as he looks to steady the ship and set a new direction for the season ahead. Before we get into our next story, if you are enjoying today's video and you would like to see more and stay updated with the latest Rangers news, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. Thank you, let's get back into the video. In other news, Lyle Cameron is not injured despite being left out of Rangers' last two matchday squads. The midfielder was not even quoted among the substitutes for the win over Hibs last midweek, or the semi-final defeat to Celtic on Sunday. It left supporters to wonder whether he was perhaps carrying an injury they hadn't heard about. However, Danny Rohl has confirmed this is not the case. Cameron had just returned from an injury and didn't make it off the bench in draws with Falkirk and Dundee United before appearing for the last 9 minutes against Kilmarnock. But he was reduced to a spectator for the last two games. He enjoyed more game time under Russell Martin earlier in the season, although not always as a starter. Rohl told his press conference this afternoon that the 23-year-old is not carrying an injury. He said, "I think this is always about how many players you can take, and then you have to look at which positions you have to double up and what could happen during the game. Sometimes it's hard for some players. It was just about this game. I think it's always important for my players to understand I picked the squad for the next game and not for the next 4 weeks. There are so many games and tomorrow I have to decide again." Rohl's comments make it clear that Cameron's recent absence is purely down to selection choices rather than any fitness concern. The German boss appears focused on balancing his squad based on tactical needs from match to match, rather than committing to long-term rotations. For Cameron, that means patience will be key as he looks to reclaim a regular spot in the side. With a busy fixture schedule ahead, opportunities are likely to come, but it's now up to the midfielder to seize them when they do. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.